Good to go.
All right, looks like we're rolling. Here comes the music.
It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When we started making podcasts in New Orleans about 10 years ago now, we encountered a lot of skeptical questions. Among them, what happens when you run out of good guests in like 6 weeks? And what's a podcast? One of the questions we did not hear was, what happens if every bar and restaurant in the city shuts down? That sure would have been funny, but it's turning out to be no joke. So welcome to New Orleans Coronavirus Episode 3. This is the third show we've done here on Zoom. Happy Hour is still conversations with a random collection of folks who have nothing in common. But one thing we do all have in common today is the crew of the show and all of our guests are quarantined in our respective homes, all, I think, across the state as well as across the city. So welcome everybody to Happy Hour. Our crew is here. Jill LaFleur, our photographer. Asher Griffith, our director of Facebook director, but are you directing anything exactly? No, you're muted. Even
no. Yeah, I'm
Thomas
not
Walsh, our
anything.
technical director, is here.
Hello.
C-Rock, our social media connector, is here. Graham DePonte, the producer who puts this whole thing together, is here. And our special guests include Blake Haney. Blake, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm, figuring out the new normal. Had a pretty good sort of weird early summer vacation the past 2 weeks. And then I think everything sort of hit me reality-wise yesterday that it was the end of the month and everybody was paying rent tomorrow. And it started really sinking in as to how crappy the current situation is. For 2 weeks, I was just being busy. And then yesterday I was like, crap.
So people who don't know you probably don't realize that you're the owner of Dirty South, which
Dirty Coast.
Dirty Coast. What is Dirty South?
That was actually one of how the name came about. It was East Coast, West Coast, Dirty South. Dirty South is like a Atlanta rap reference from the early 2000s.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. So Dirty Coast is the name of the company. So now we have to start the whole show over again and do a proper introduction. So Dirty Coast has you have 5 outlets now.
Three, the website, 3 stores, and then the airport when the airport's open.
Right. So everything's closed down, I assume.
Yeah, we
Apart from the
closed 2 weeks ago, and then we've just been working with the website and then shifting all of our keeping all our employees employed for the next month or so, and we've been moving everybody over to doing other projects. And so we're developing a new brand that's more of a national brand that some people are working on. We're developing a pet line that another person's working on. We have a community resources page that we have one of our staff members doing research for. And I'm just trying to get everybody as busy as possible. And then we have our shipping staff who are just actively shipping out products that we're releasing every week.
Well, that sounds like you're still working pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I have Dirty Coast, trying to keep Dirty Coast busy, trying to figure out how to get money from the SBA to cover rent and staff so they can stay employed while we're closed, which is not fun, but figuring that out. And then we have 2 other companies that we run. Bayou Brands is one where we do product development and websites, e-commerce for other companies. And so we're doing that as well because everyone's basically realizing their stores are closed, so they need to get online. And then locally.com is a startup that myself and Mike Massey with Massey's Outfitters developed with our partner Ben in 2013. And that is a international software company that works with retailers and brands, specifically trying to help brick and mortar retailers get discovered online. So that's kind of exploding right now because all those retailers are closed. And so they're trying to figure out, how do I do curbside delivery? How do I do online sales? And so all these major brands are working with us to help get everyone who sells Patagonia to figure out how to get online and start allowing people to shop. And so that company's just crazy right now.
That's very interesting, because I thought locally.com, which is a great idea, just to explain what it is. It's if you're looking for like a brand name, like something by Patagonia, locally will direct you to, or locally.com will direct you to the local store where you can go buy it here. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we started that company with just the general idea of, let's take the inventory in a brick and mortar store. It's from its point of sale, and pull it into our site, and then merge it with the product catalog for like Brooks Running or North Face or whoever, and then figure out how to publish that content to wherever the shopper is. So it's on locally.com, but really the way people find stuff is like, if you go to Patagonia's website and you go to their store finder, that's powered by us. And so not only can you see who carries Patagonia in Chicago, but you might be able to see if that retailer is on our platform, not only that they carry Patagonia, but what do they carry? Like, what's actually in stock in their store? And then if you want, you can put those products on hold in the store for pickup, but now you can do curbside pickup, local delivery through Postmates. And so we've been ramping up all those tools for the past few years.
So I thought this would not be working at all because all these stores are closed, but it's actually working double time because all these stores are trying to figure out how to sell online now. So it's sort of gone the other direction.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's like a distributed network of warehouses. So Amazon's got these massive warehouses and all this inventory that Amazon owns or manages for all these other retailers. We're sort of the substrate software that's connecting all these retailers and brands together. And so we have something like 8,500 retailers on our platform. And so we have all their inventory being synced with our system. And so we can now show you that run shop in Chicago has those Brooks running shoes. And they may not be open right now, but if you want, you can go to their website and purchase the shoes, and then maybe they'll do delivery to you via Postmates or some other service.
Wow.
So at least they're able to move some of their inventory while they're closed.
So are you making a shitload of money out of all this?
Locally is doing well enough to sustain our team, but it's always the type of thing where, like, we get more brands, we get more interest, we need to hire more people.
But
So
every
it's
time
always
someone buys a Patagonia t-shirt or something, do you get paid for that?
If they buy it through our platform, we get a small percentage.
Right.
Of
That's
purchase.
pretty damn cool then.
Yeah.
All right. This is how Jeff Bezos started out, isn't it?
I wouldn't say we're in any way the trajectory of Jeff Bezos. I think none of us have that ego of wanting to eat the world, but
Be the richest guy in the world. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
be that as it may, Linda Midget is here as well. Linda, hey, how's it going?
I'm doing fine. Thanks.
Wait till you hear what Linda Midget created. One of the greatest things on television of all time ever.
That's exciting to hear. Thank you.
Don't you think it is? And I'm talking about the show Storm Stories on the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
What show did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to dig up something from a recent decade, but yeah, that's a good one.
Storm Stories is
it's
iconic.
back there, actually. It's back on the air now, so yeah.
So you actually created that.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I did the pilot episode and ended up being the showrunner for that series. I used to work for a company in Chicago called Towers Productions that was hired by the Weather Channel. So yeah.
So when was that?
Oh boy, that was the early 2000s, like maybe 2001, something like 2001, 2002 was when that was developed.
So what was the conversation that led up to that? Was that people sitting around saying, let's put a show on TV about the worst weather disasters ever?
Well, I mean, the Weather Channel, we started doing a series for them called Atmospheres. Before this, they were only, they only did their weather forecasts. So they didn't have any long form programming at all. So the very first thing that we developed for them was called Atmospheres. It's sort of a magazine style show where they had short segments. And they wanted to venture into a longer form programming, which was a big move at that point. And
so after that point, people turned on the Weather Channel to see what the weather was.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So this was a revolutionary idea you had here.
Well, I didn't have it. I mean, I can't take credit for having that. They are the ones who wanted to do that. So that was a team approach. But I had produced a I was the supervising producer for Atmospheres, and I had produced a 2-part story, and it did really well ratings wise. And so that story kind of became the basis for Storm Stories, which ended up being a half-hour, weekly series that they did.
Is Jim Cantore involved with that?
He was, yeah. Jim did the voiceovers for it.
Okay, so did you know him very well?
I wouldn't say I knew him very well, but we went to Hawaii together, and
okay, that's pretty
shot
good.
various things with him. My producers all worked with him. So yeah.
And is he crazy actually, or what?
He's actually a really nice guy. He was really fun to hang out with. We had a very good time with him.
So the whole I'm standing at the beach and it's 100-mile-an-hour wind and I'm going to be blown over, that's the whole persona that he's got, this danger man.
So I don't know. He's been doing this so long that I just think that's who he is. I mean, this was 20 years ago that he was doing this. It's kind of hard to separate him from the crazy stuff that he does.
Right. Very interesting though. Okay, so are they still making that show?
Well, yeah, we went off the air, somewhere like 2005, 2006. And then they resurrected it last year, I think it was. They brought the series back. And I was not involved with that in any way.
So what are you doing now?
So I'm a documentary filmmaker now. And I have a film out called Same God. That's the most amazing thing that I thought you were referring to.
That is a cool looking film. I haven't seen that though.
Well, I hope that you go see it.
I hope so too. Where would I see it?
It is on Apple TV right now, which is iTunes. I don't know why they rebranded it like that, but it's Apple TV and Amazon. You can purchase it there. And we're still waiting to see if we get picked up by a streaming service at some point.
So Lena, let me take a guess. Is it about how religions like Judaism and Christianity and Islamic practices all follow the same God, but have different pursuits and have beef between each other over millennia?
Well, it is. The title would imply that. There is a portion of the documentary that gets into the idea of the Abrahamic religions that you just outlined. But actually, it is a documentary about a woman who she's a Christian. She taught at a very well-known Christian college outside of Chicago called Wheaton College. And about 4 years ago, when the rhetoric against Muslims was taking a sharp turn, she wore a hijab in solidarity with them. And she quoted Pope Francis, who a week earlier had said that Muslims and Christians worship the same God, meaning that they are Abrahamic religions along with Judaism. And basically all hell broke loose when she said that. So she lost her tenured position at the very prominent college for saying that. It was a really huge, really global controversy. And so I started filming with her sort of in the middle of that controversy. And then I followed her for about 2.5 years and looked at the impact that this had on her life. So the film really is, there's some theology in it, but it's really it's more of an exploration of why that was such a controversial statement and why people.
Was it the statement that was controversial or what she was wearing was controversial?
Well, that's a good question. I think that the statement sets people off. But the image of her, she's African-American, so the image of a Black woman in a hijab, I think subconsciously is a very powerful image that triggered a lot of people. But rather than addressing that, I think they focused on the words that she said. So Same God is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek title for the film. A lot of people assume that I'm making a statement that it's the same God. But really, like it's an evangelical school. This is actually Billy Graham's alma mater.
This is where she teaches at an evangelical school.
Yeah, she doesn't now. She lost her job, but it actually also happens to be my alma mater.
This Wheaton College you're talking
Wheaton
about.
College, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yes.
that. It's like a Christian school.
It is, yes.
And what made
So
you
it's an
go?
evangelical college. And so
What-
the same God title is really a question of, do evangelicals worship the same God?
Why did you go to an evangelical college?
I was raised in a very devout evangelical home.
Where was that?
So, on the coast of North Carolina.
And where do you live now?
I live in Baton Rouge now.
So not much of a change, really.
Well, the men all drive trucks.
Right.
All of my neighbors have guns. So no, it's not that different from North Carolina.
What made you move to Baton Rouge?
There's
of all
more
places?
drinking though.
Yeah. What made you move to Baton Rouge?
My husband, I married a Louisiana guy. So he works at LSU.
Okay.
He took a job down here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions around that. But first of all, Rodo, we haven't even said hello to you at all. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good to see you actually again.
It's good. It's almost been it's been about a year, maybe a year and some change since I've last
Has it been that
on.
long? You know
Mhm.
what's going on? Are you watching what's happening? And we're all on Zoom. If you listen to this a podcast, you're missing out on Asher smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I see it. We had our mics muted here. We were like, man, we all should have also, because
Are you guys cigarette smokers as well?
no, but it's 420 all month this month. So we were
Well, yeah. I've never seen anyone smoking a cigarette on happy hour ever.
Yeah, are you indoors too, Asher? Are you smoking indoors? Because I thought people stopped doing that in like 1987, dude.
No, I'm out on the patio.
Oh, okay.
But he's in Arkansas
Yeah.
in the chicken coop.
I'm
Anyway,
right,
Rodo.
I'm
Yeah.
right next to
So-
the chicken coop.
So, Rodo, how are you doing? Last time we talked to you, we were talking about crystals, and I see you're still wearing that giant crystal around.
I still have the giant crystal. Also, I told Stacy if I ever went back on this show, I would correct myself from the last time. So last time I think I said it was a rose quartz. It was really I'm sorry, I said it was an amethyst. It's actually a rose quartz. So yeah, amethyst
Okay.
are purple. So I had it wrong last time. So I told her if I ever came back on the show, I would get it right.
You'd correct yourself. So you've
Yeah.
been wearing it this whole time. It's a
This whole
rose
time.
quartz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it protecting you from the coronavirus?
I think it stops at the according to Stacy, it stops at the metaphysical apparently. So we'll see. I've been out here washing my hands as much as I can. My hands hurt from washing them so much, to be honest. I have disinfectant in my car. I can't shake my friends' hands without sanitizing first. We've been
Well,
doing
you're not
a lot
allowed
of-
to shake
lot of
anybody's
fist-
hand, even
we've-
your
we've been
friends.
out here fist bumping. That's what we've been doing. Elbows and fist bumps. That's about it.
I don't think you're allowed to do fist bumps, are you, Blake? Even
Just oh, okay. Well, hey,
Yeah, no, I've heard elbows are supposed to be a no-no too.
Blake, what's your take on that? Uh-oh,
I think we lost him.
Blake's disappeared. Now we have his name only.
He's
I think he's
gone.
trying to unmute himself. Monique Pyle, our music producer, is here too. Hi, Monique.
Hey.
Blake, are you back? No, we can't hear you. I think you're muted. You have to unmute.
Yeah,
yourself.
let me. I'll unmute him. Let's
Oh,
see
you
if
can
we can
unmute
hear
him.
him.
Okay, now we got
There,
you.
Blake.
Yeah, I had to move closer to my Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's what it is. So, Blake, what are you doing with the fist bumping versus elbow touching deal?
I do a lot of this, a lot of pointing.
Looking at you.
Good.
Are you
I
leaving
do
the house at all?
I do the squirt. I do the hand sanitizer squirt.
Heels and heels.
Are you leaving the house, Blake, at all?
My neighbors across the street we're good friends with have a pool, and so I've used that a few times. I've gotten gas. I've gone to the grocery store and bobbed and weaved around people and eyeballed who I thought looked like they were paying close attention to how they were living, and eyeballed people who could not give a shit and stayed away from those people. But yeah, I'm trying to live as much of a normal life as I can, but I'm definitely very aware of social distancing.
Linda, what's it like in Baton Rouge then?
It's about the same. I mean, it's we're pretty locked down at our house for sure.
How many people are in
I've
there?
got kids, so they're here. So we're homeschooling.
How old are your kids?
14 and 10. So really, it just means that I have no idea what's happening with their school. We all just go to computers all day and then we talk at night. So.
So you're not having to actually supervise and do any teaching.
No, they're old enough. thank goodness. Like, I really feel for people that have little guys, like really, really little guys at home, because that's
Thomas.
got to be brutal. You know,
Yeah.
my kids are very self-sufficient, and we just
Well,
kind of set the rules, and they're fine.
Blake, how old's your kid?
He's 7.
7. So that requires a bit of supervision daily.
Oh yeah, it's added a lot of complexity to the daily routine.
Right. And Rodo, where are you holed up at?
I'm still here in New Orleans.
But where are you now? Like, are you in like a studio there or what?
Yeah, dance studio.
Yeah, we're here in DB Productions, NOLA.
Okay, so you're allowed to get out of the house then.
Yeah. To be honest, I have like a list of places that I've only been since this has all started, and Dan's pretty quarantined in here. So this is like outside of my house is the only other place that I've allowed myself to go, other than like, you know, going to the grocery store, gas station. But if I'm not here making music, then I'm stuck at home.
Does anybody know anyone who's actually got this virus yet? Here?
Oh, I actually, so I'm originally from Mississippi, and a couple of weeks ago they had their first death, and that guy was actually my barber when I was a kid.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty close.
But he wasn't in the age that they say it affects the most, but he was sick with something pneumonic already, and so he was already compromised essentially. Yeah.
I think I had it last week. I mean, I never got tested, but I had the fever and the sneezing and the cough.
Yeah,
and
at the very
all
beginning of
that.
Mardi Gras, I was also relatively sick. I think
Yeah.
Sergio was as well, and yeah. So to be honest, I think I may have had it and already gone through it at this point.
Okay, and Linda, you think you had it as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my
so-
daughter got it. My 10-year-old daughter, she had a fever as well. So, but hers was very mild. Mine was mild comparatively speaking.
So these aren't counted in the statistics, I guess.
Mm-mm. No, it's too hard to get tested. I mean, I've called their urgent care, but honestly, it just was too hard to get tested. And since I'm very healthy, so I just figured, well, if I get really sick, I'll go to the
Okay, so
hospital. You know,
Does that mean you can go out anywhere now? Then you're not going to get it again?
I don't know. I have no idea when you stop being contagious. I mean, I holed up in our guest bedroom for a long time to try and protect my family, but I don't know. Like, how long do you know? I don't know how long you're supposed to stay by yourself.
According
This is
to
why we-
the sound guy, you're only contagious for 36 hours.
Oh,
After the
really?
fever, after the fever.
Okay.
C-Rock will know. C-Rock knows everything about this sort of thing. Do you know C-Rock?
What's the question?
How, if you've had this virus already, are you immune now from getting it again? Can you now go out and do whatever the hell you want? Could you go and actually work at Whole Foods, for example?
Like chicken pox kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's what we don't know. I mean, I don't know whether you'll be able to find the answer to that, C-Rock. Anyway,
You'll
Rodo,
be immune. You'll be immune for some time, at least. It says.
It varies from case to case. In some really bad cases, people have to get dialysis. In some cases, people, their blood gets really rich in iron and it becomes really dark and viscous. Other people have permanent joint problems, kind of like the after effects of Zika. It's very fickle and it's very different from case to case.
Sergio, this is you talking, right?
Yes.
So you're a guitar player in a band.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you know all this?
Oh, I have family in the medical field.
His fiance is also a nurse.
Okay, you sound like you know a lot more about it than anybody I've heard on the news even.
Yes.
I've never heard anyone use the word viscous. Where are you from, Sergio? Are you like from New Orleans as well?
I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised.
Puerto Rico. Okay. Did you move here to New Orleans, or did you?
I moved here in 2006 to go to Loyola.
Go back.
Yeah, I've known Rodo for over 11, 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I left in 2011 and came back in 2017.
Where'd you go?
I went back home to Puerto Rico and play music and do gigs.
Okay. Hey, talking to music, you guys want to play some music?
Yeah, we got a song ready for you.
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
This is it's one of the ballads that we named it last time. We started a new genre of music last time we were on this show.
You invented a new genre of music last time you were on Happy Hour?
You named it. You called it Hip Hop Ballads is what you called it.
Hip Hop Ballad. I did, really? Okay.
Yeah, you even put it in the synopsis of the show last time I was here.
All right. But do we get 10% every time you play a hip hop ballad?
Why not? Why not? It'll go back to the podcast, and maybe you guys will have me a couple more times.
Sure. Okay. What are you going to play?
The song is called "Up to Something," and it's produced by myself and Sergio. Pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep that thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Know we up to some. Ooh, yeah, they know we up to something. Peace, love, and namaste. My mama say I should pray a day in search of a better way. Born fly, so I levitate, just doing me. Speak this G stuff fluently. When I say I keep a bad thing, I mean like 2 or 3. Who were we? The homies that you asked for. Yeah, we born with enough and still ask for more. Cause I collect 200 every time I pass go. We'll be writing hits even if we fast forward to the next life. Made me wanna know what them checks like. And every time she lick her lips, it got me wondering what the... If it's nice, they ain't right. You know, Rodo there every night. Keep them rhymes tight. And you know I'm sunbathing in the limelight. Like pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep that thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Know we up to some. Ooh, yeah, they know we up to something. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep that shit, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get to running. Treble down, bass up, keep this thing jumping. Shorties made the block so they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Know we up to some. Yeah, they know we up to some. Look, 9 times out of 10, probably good for an 8. And you know I be the man. 7 days straight, 6-figure lifestyle, big boy place, no lobster and steak. 5-star dates, and I keep a bad thing. I got like 4 to give away. Need 3 stacks, make a play like Andre. Know I ate it once, came back like Haney, and they try to turn on me, but this thing in one way. I'm a savage on the Sabbath, put in work on Sunday. And if they tripping on me, then they sending out the country. Where you map at? Getting into something where the cash at cream, get the money, dollar bills, and the loose change, like it's Wu-Tang. Y'all got these whack rappers gassed up like it's butane. And you know we up to something, cause it's how we do things. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get the run. If I keep one thing, no, I keep this thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get to run. If I keep one thing, no, I keep this shit, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Ooh, yeah, they know we up to something.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. I can see why I came up with that term, hip hop ballad. That's what it is.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys.
What else would you describe
That
that
was
as,
cool.
that genre, if not hip hop ballad?
You know, it's really hard. You know, you're probably the only person that's helped me simplify it, because it's really hard to put a name on kind of what it is, because the music itself isn't your general hip hop. It is a little slower. So a hip hop ballad was really a good way to put it. because
Okay.
it's gonna get coined hip hop because I'm rapping either way, no matter what the music sounds like. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so we
where are we
just
going to hear this? This is a new record coming out, right?
it is. I'm still working on the album from last time. I've had a couple hiccups in real life, so I kind of slowed it down. But A Note from the Universe is still coming. I'm actually releasing a single called "Dripped in Gold" this month. It'll be on all streaming platforms, and we're actually going to debut it whenever we get another musical break. So, yeah, we decided to do something special and give you guys some unheard new music that's going to
That's
be coming
cool.
up
So
soon.
Dripped in Gold is the new single that's coming out. But
Yes.
A Note from the Universe hasn't come out yet still.
It hasn't come out yet, just
Right.
because sometimes I'll have to step away from music and go back to work and do, the corporate thing and make some money so I can actually put money into doing this. So just timing and the way the world has been. But now that I have all the time, all the time
Right.
available, we're going to be pushing that out pretty soon in the next
Well,
month or
that's
so.
the upside of a pandemic.
Yeah, that is the upside, is if you got a hobby, now's the time to really get into
Right.
it.
So Blake, the last time we had this sort of disastrous crisis like this, you were one of the leading lights of New Orleans who came forward and sort of were the vanguard of the resurgence. Remember that period? You have to unmute your microphone. Ta-da. There you go.
All right. You talking about the first few years after Katrina?
Yeah, you were the person who invented the slogan, "Be a New Orleanian wherever you are."
Yes. We had started working on Dirty Coast in 2004, and so we incorporated the company in 2005, around the beginning of the summer, and we had been designing a bunch of products. And the original idea was it was just going to be T-shirts that someone who loves New Orleans or is connected to New Orleans would want to wear, versus the T-shirt shops in the quarter, like our own version of like a threadless. And so we had some designs that were just funny, like the Metairie it's safe here, or so far behind we're ahead, and a few of these other ones.
My favorite shirt ever is Unknown Potholes, the spin on Joy Division.
Oh yeah, thank you. And then Katrina happened, and so I was in Lafayette, and I made those Be an Orleanian stickers. And when I finally was able to get back in town, I started putting them around in coffee shops and bars that were the ones that were open, and people were grabbing them and just grabbing them, mailing them out, and everything. And that was when it really dawned on me, like, maybe I really should be launching a place-based brand. And so we finally pushed it live, and then it became not just poking fun, obviously in New Orleans, but also sort of T-shirt as a billboard for identity, and sort of making the designs insider enough so it's like a secret handshake, and kind of if someone's wearing it in Ohio and someone sees them, they both know the secret or know something. And also, if you don't understand the shirt, it kind of begs the question and gets you to talk about New Orleans or talk about Louisiana. And so
Something
it
about
started as a fun thing.
That whole idea of yours and that sticker, that "Be a New Orleanian wherever you are," that sticker that you made and you gave away for free. I don't know how many of them did you end up giving away?
We've definitely given away, I don't know exactly that sticker, but we've definitely given away probably around 2 million stickers in the past 15 years.
Right.
Something like that.
2 million free stickers.
Yeah.
So that "Be a New Orleanian wherever you are" became the sort of almost the sort of slogan of the resurgence of the sort of New Orleans pride of rebuilding this place. So what I'm getting at here is, what have you got in store for this time?
We've put out a few designs the past 2 weeks, sort of doing, poking fun at and some levity with this social distancing and alternative handshakes. And today we put a shirt out that's basically the thank you bag design, but on the bottom, instead of saying "have a nice day," it says "staying home." And so we're trying to have levity with it, but what we're doing now is we've been raising money through the website for the Gumbo Crew, which are a group in Metairie that are serving gumbo and food to medical workers. And then we're also working with Devin with the Red Beans Crew, helping him with his project to collect money for, it's kind of brilliant. It's a triangular idea of, you raise money to give to the local restaurants who need business, They make the food, which then is delivered, I think, via musicians who are paid well for delivery, and the food is delivered to medical staff and first responders.
Wow.
And so it's a way to support restaurants, musicians, anyway, all the people that we want to continue to live here and continue to have a business, continue to have a
That's the kind of
livelihood.
idea we're looking for.
Yeah, it's really great. It's so Devin's doing that with who started Red Beans, and then we have a few other projects. We just relaunched Screens for Good, which is like us designing T-shirts and products for nonprofits, and we split the profits with them. And so we just got that up again. And so I don't know. We're working on a bunch of different ideas.
Okay. All right. Hey, cool. So listen, what we said we would do on this show today as an experiment is a bit we're calling co-video, which is publishing the Zoom meeting link to the show on our It's New Orleans Happy Hour Facebook page. And anyone who wants to join in the show can join in from wherever they are trapped in their house. So are you guys ready to try it?
Sure.
What do you say? Okay.
Blake,
right.
while we're waiting, I got a quick question for you. What's your most popular seller of all time?
Oh, I think it's either the NOLA X shirt that we made a few years ago. That was an offshoot of our original Listen to Your City design. It's either that one, or it is. It actually probably is either the free Sean Payton shirt we put out in 2012 that blew up, or it's those T-shirts we made for the playoff game shitting on the refs last year. Those sold like absurd amount of shirts. They're extremely timely, and we were able to get it out and design it that evening and put it out the next morning. So
wow.
About excluding Saints stuff.
Excluding Saints, I'd say this one, the River Lake Uptown Downtown symbol shirt has been a pretty steady seller for years. And then the Louisiana Purchase shirt has sold pretty well. Soul's Waterproof has sold very well over the years, especially in its different zip code permutations when we did fundraisers for flood victims in Baton Rouge and in Texas. So if you combine all together, that could be our best seller, just because we sold a lot of shirts as fundraisers when those floods happened.
Okay. So, C-Rock, did we do it? Did we publish this? Zoom
Yeah, we're
link?
live in the event and on the live stream. Look,
Okay,
we got
we'll
our
see if
first
anybody shows up.
our first caller.
Here's Christopher Roth. He's here. I see. Ryan is here. Ryan, were you on our show a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I was on like the week before last.
Yeah, that's right.
First COVID.
You were on the very first show that we did on Zoom that we didn't know what we're doing. We vaguely know a little bit more now.
Yes, I mean, like honestly now, like I think I'm starting to get the hang, and very interesting. I mean, it's very interesting being quarantined now as opposed to what it was.
So you've still got that shitty
when I was a kid.
connection. It's
When I
very
was a
hard
kid,
to
we had
hear
a,
you, unfortunately.
Can you hear me?
It's pretty bad. Are you still in the same place you were last time?
Yeah, I'm still in the same place. Let me go and get my
All right.
my freaking
So
my earbuds.
all right, very good. Hey, and Frank is here. Is this Frank Skurlock? Do you guys recognize Frank Skurlock? Is that him?
Yes, I am here.
Look at that. Frank, how the hell are you?
I am awesome. How are you guys? Are you having a good apocalypse?
Yeah, we're all good. We're good. Hey, Frank, how are you doing? Are you back in town? You back in New Orleans?
Well, I've been in a submarine for about 3 years when the media buried me. And I came up about 4 weeks ago. It's all good.
You went underground?
Yep.
Or underwater?
Yep. That was it. When the media tide struck, there was nothing I could do. So I said, let's go sailing. And I ended up landing at Disney World, of all places.
On a boat?
No, technically I came in my own personal space shuttle. I think you've seen that before.
Yes, I've seen you driving down the street in the space shuttle. Okay, so you've been at Disneyland for 3 years.
Well, I travel a lot, but I live in a little town called Celebration, Florida, which is actually on the grounds of Disney. It's the closest they ever got to building Epcot.
Okay, and they let you live there despite your background.
They didn't do the check yet.
All right. Okay, and Christopher Roth is here as well. Chris, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Grant.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So
It's nice to get out
You're out of the house today.
on the porch.
On the porch. Have you been leaving the house at all other than going further than the porch?
Rachel and I get up in the morning and we actually go walking. So we do about 5 or 6 miles in the morning and run for groceries every once in a while. And that's about it.
So I was talking to friends in New Zealand who told me they're only allowed to go 100 meters from their house.
Yikes.
And that's the extent of the whole
Yeah.
lockdown.
Well, there's not a lot of people out at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I would imagine there would not be. So, Chris, this is Linda Midget, who you're looking at over here.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Chris.
And Frank, you'd be interested to meet Linda as well, because Linda grew up and went to an evangelical college.
Oh, awesome. Amazing.
Was it Liberty? Was it Liberty College?
No,
Liberty University?
no, it's not Liberty.
That's the Falwells College.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one in
That's
Virginia, right?
really more of a fundamentalist college. It's
So-
called evangelical now, but it's really
Ooh.
fundamentalist.
So who was
actually
the
has
famous
been-
person who was related to that?
Jerry Falwell. Jerry Falwell was part of the religious right, and it's his son who runs it now.
Okay. All right. So what are you doing now? What are you working on? Are you making another movie about anything?
No, this is, we just had our theatrical release for this about a month ago for Same God. And so I've been knee deep in trying to figure out how to get the film out during a pandemic, which is a fun distribution time for your film.
Well,
I
in a
would not-
strange sense, though, it might work for you because everyone's stuck at home watching movies.
They are, but we've had to sort of pivot midstream. We had our theatrical release and
I
people
see.
were just starting to not go to the theaters because of the virus. So we're now doing a lot of virtual screenings and trying to figure out how to do panel discussions about the film, via Zoom, like we're doing right now for the podcast. So it's kind of a work in progress. But I can't start filming anything new because you can't go film anything.
You can't really do anything. So
yeah.
this is a feature-length documentary.
It is, yeah.
About a woman who decided to wear a hijab. Now, hijab is just the scarf thing. It's not the whole burqa.
Right. It's just the headscarf.
So
Yeah.
all this woman did was wear a headscarf at an evangelical school, and it just about got her fired.
Yeah, it got her fired. She was tenured. She was the first African-American tenured professor in the school's 156-year history. 156 years at that time.
And did you do this?
Go ahead.
Did you do this as some sort of like an experiment to see what would happen?
No, she did not think that. She did not think it would be that big of a deal. She posted this on her personal Facebook page. She actually had some students who had come up with this idea. So she was doing this to support them. She's a political science professor. And so, she's very aware of everything going on in the news and the world, maybe more than most of us. But
What is the cultural appropriation view of that action?
Yeah, she and I have talked a lot about that because we get asked that a lot by people. I don't know if it's a cultural appropriation when you end up being, when you have consequences for it in a negative way. You know what I mean?
But what if I was to dress up like a Hasidic rabbi?
I think it would depend on what your motive is in doing it.
Just for the hell of it.
Well,
Mardi
Gras, it's not a problem.
Or if I was,
For spite, Grant,
what's
I don't know,
that?
it's a Halloween. So why are you?
I don't
doing
know. I
it?
just mean it's going to cause some sort of. Isn't that, aren't people
Grant,
going to be upset?
you're
Doesn't that
already a
upset
Jew,
people?
though.
Well, but this is a person who's just, all she's doing is wearing a scarf. That's all she did.
Well, no, but to go into more depth, her idea is called embodied solidarity. And it's interesting because actually listening to Blake and what he was describing with, like this awesome idea of having restaurants who then hire the musicians to deliver the food and blah, blah, blah. That's actually the concept of embodied solidarity in action. Because it's basically, instead of saying, oh, I feel so bad for the restaurants, it's saying, okay, we're going to do something about it in a physical, embodied way. And so her wearing the scarf was not, it was not a stunt, it wasn't a gimmick. It was a way for her to say to Muslim women specifically, and there was a lot of rising violence against Muslim women, it was a way for her to say, hey, I'm sort of stepping into your situation with you.
How did you know she was going to have all this controversy around her? Did you start following her before she did it?
No, I started following it in the middle of it. Yeah, so it started in December 2015. It was all over the news. It was, covered by the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, everybody. And I started filming with her in January, which was right in the middle of it.
Okay, cool.
And then I filmed with her for a couple of years.
And the film's got some pretty good reactions. It's got some great reviews, I see.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gotten very good reviews. So it's not like a lighthearted film, but it's very inspiring and thought-provoking.
Does it have a happy ending? Do they get married at the end or anything?
No, I think the happy ending is just that she has no regrets for what she did. She suffered tremendously because of it, but she's a really inspiring figure because she has never backed down. And I think it's kind of unusual to see that kind of integrity these days. So people walk away from the film and I think feel very inspired and encouraged. They feel like, hey, I'd like to be like her in whatever area of my life that may look like.
Well, that's inspiring. Have you seen Tiger King?
I have seen Tiger King.
Is it anything like that?
It is nothing like Tiger King.
That seems to be very popular.
It is very popular.
That thing. And here's
Wilma. Let's be honest.
Wilma, where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right outside of New Orleans.
Outside of New Orleans. So you have letters after your name. Are these degrees? CCR?
Yes.
And RPR?
Right.
Okay. Anyone want to guess what they stand for? Blake, any idea? No. Melinda?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. Okay, Rodo, where are you? There. Can you see Wilma, Rodo?
Yeah, I can see it. CCR. I have no clue what that would be. Yeah.
And RPR.
And RPR.
No idea. Something to do with
we're
real
all drawing
estate.
blanks over here.
I'm guessing real estate.
No.
What is it?
Certified court reporter and registered professional reporter.
You're a court reporter.
Yeah, freelance court reporter who is not working.
So you're not doing anything.
No.
Do you ever feel like just writing down what people are saying?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work actually?
So it's machine shorthand. And it's pretty much phonetics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these days, why don't they just have voice to text recording?
Because it's not that accurate, and there are so many voices out there.
Okay,
Different voices every day.
So what's going to happen to you?
So I've just applied for unemployment.
Right. And who employs you? The city or the court system or what?
No, I'm self-employed, and so
You're a contractor.
work on commission, or pretty much I work for myself, and I get paid by the page. And if I don't work, I don't make any money.
How much does it cost to have you write down a page of what I say?
It's usually about $5 a page.
$5 a page. That's it?
And we kind of like stretch everything out. There isn't a whole lot on each page.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's not like writing like a book, a novel. It's not.
I guess it depends on the size of the pages and
Okay.
how it's formatted.
So what are you hearing is going on? Does anyone say when the court cases? What happens to people who are waiting for a trial?
Everything's been continued.
So if I'm being remanded in custody waiting for my trial, I'm just in jail now till this is over.
I just
Right.
filed a motion to, I've got 4 clients in jail, but only one of them is really eligible for some kind of relief on his bond. Everybody else is a violent offender, but this guy's not. He's got about 11 charges, but none of them is a crime of violence. So I just today filed a motion to let him out for free.
Yeah.
This is the voice of Graham DePonte you're listening to, who's the producer of our show. And when she's not doing that, represents
Okay.
people.
So they're doing some of that stuff via Zoom.
Section in criminal district court in New Orleans, I know Section F and I think Section E are both active. The other sections really aren't.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much closed down.
So I've got a question. I just got a notification for jury duty.
No way.
So what happens?
When is it? What month?
The date is this month, actually, the 18th of April, I believe, was the date on it.
How can that be possible? Where does it say you have to report to?
Well, the notification's upstairs, so I just went online and filled out the juror form, but then I'm supposed to get a notification on when I'm supposed to report.
Is it criminal court or civil?
I believe it's criminal.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
If there's any information.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
my
been
husband-
canceled.
My husband was had jury duty when this happened, and then the second week was when they called it all off. So he went the first day, and then they said that he fulfilled everything, so it was done.
Well, Chris, you're out of luck. It's great. Good news.
Right.
One good thing to come out of the pandemic. Hey, Rodo, you guys want to play another song or what?
Yeah, we're down to play another song. Sorry, this is the happy hour podcast, so we're just trying to get
What
our
have you
drinks.
got? What are you
started
drinking?
over here. I have gin and juice is my drink of choice.
Gin and juice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what's this song?
This song is called Dripped in Gold. This is the one that's going to come out this month.
Okay.
There was also a video shot to this. Video was done by Lonzel Clark. We were also supposed to go on the Dripped in Gold tour. Today would have been the day that we actually got back from the tour, but of course, everything got canceled the day the world ended. Yeah, and so we'll do it. We've been doing live streams and stuff to kind of make up for that. But yeah, this one's called Dripped in Gold. I'm gonna move this a little closer to me, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Everything's dripped in gold. Young Midas, everything I touch gets dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. Young Midas, everything I touch gets dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. Gold watch, gold chain, and I even got a gold chick. I'm the golden child. Mom used to beat me down with a gold switch. Guess you could say I got a gold niche. Kobe plays for the Kobe steaks. Y'all more silver ain't worth the wait. What else y'all expect me to say? But look, I ain't sorry I was born this way. I ain't perfect, I'ma make a few mistakes. Say some things that I probably shouldn't say, but in the end it'll all be okay. Cause look, I got gold standards when I set goals. Trying to get a Grammy and a Golden Globe. My crib might come with gold bricks, golden retriever and a gold fence. And to top it off, I got a goldfish and I'm extra fresh. Gold bond, got a golden eye like James Bond. Give a gold star to my day ones. Smoking great out in Golden State. Like Golden Tate, gold plate, no dirty dishes. Young Willy Wonka, I'm the golden ticket. Young Willy Wonka, I'm the golden ticket. Now everything that glitters ain't gold. But if it don't shine, does it have soul? No. Everything that glitters ain't gold. But if it don't shine, does it have soul? No. Everything's dripped in gold. Young Midas, everything I touch gets dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. Does it have soul? No, everything's dripped in gold. Young Midas, everything I touch gets dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold. I'm dripped in gold.
All right. Very nice. Dripped in gold. When do we see it? When can we steal that?
It's going to be streaming on all streaming platforms April 15th, and that's the first time I've given a hard date. But April 15th, we'll be all good to go.
Hey, Frank Skerlock has hijacked our whole page here now.
What was that, Frank?
How do you do that even?
I don't know. I just tried to minimize that.
This is a bit of a learning curve. Frank, how did you do that?
Wait, I'm learning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I somebody ran and knocked on my door and I opened it and apparently I got my stimulus a little bit early.
Oh, God.
That's $100 bill with Donald Trump's face on it.
Actually, it's gold.
But how did you take over our whole feed like that?
I don't know, but I just figured out how to put the kibosh on it.
Good job. That's something we don't know. We're learning as we go here.
Yes, yeah, so all I did is go to my profile and there's an area there that says share content. Okay. And then my phone actually locked up when I went to go take the picture of the stimulus. And then it came back to life and then I shared it with the group.
Okay, well, that's complicated. Frank, we've got a lot of questions to ask you, but I don't know if we have time today exactly. So we've seen two interesting things today on the show. So Asher smoke a cigarette and Blake doing the dishes. Normally we have to sit there and just get drunk during the show, but now
I'm shocked that my kids didn't wake up from their nap and ruin everything. I'm broadcasting from the living room. Look, this is my daughter's.
Yeah, you guys left me and Sergio to get drunk by ourselves over here. I thought this was the happy hour podcast.
Yeah, that's right. No one's drunk or high hardly at all.
I had a drink beforehand, if it helps.
Hey, so Linda, now that we're all trapped at home and we can all watch your movie, where do we see it? It's on Amazon?
It's on Amazon and it is on Apple TV, which is iTunes, basically. Yeah.
Can you give us the name of that one more time?
Same God. Same God.
Awesome.
There's a artwork as a woman in a hijab, so you can't miss it.
Awesome.
It's got I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's got great reviews. Do we have to pay for it or is it part of our Prime subscription?
You have to pay for it right now. Yeah. I'm not sure when that changes.
How do you get it on Netflix? How does that work?
They are considering it. So yeah, I don't know how that works. They have it and I'm hoping maybe they pick it up since I think they need new content. So
yeah, really.
I'll watch the Tiger King, we got to move on.
Yeah. The Tiger King is a very interesting sort of societal marker.
Yeah.
People, I don't understand the fascination with it. It seems like just after I watched 2 episodes, I'm like, I can't be bothered spending more time looking at these stupid people. I wish the tigers would just fucking eat them. Didn't you think? I mean, who cares about those people?
No, I had the same reaction. I did a lot of, over the years, I did a lot of crime programming, and I just don't find crime funny. Even like these people they're entertaining and they're funny, but it's still like dead people. It's not funny to me. So I don't know. I have a different response to it than some people have.
Well, I don't know if it's even a crime. I'm not sure if keeping tigers is even criminal, is it?
I think it's just the fascination that these people actually exist amongst us.
Yeah, they are freaks. I mean, I guess if you've never been in the South before, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But they're not that different from people you see wandering around here, really. Frankly.
Yeah, it just gives you an inside look into what really goes on in their lives. So.
Right. It's interesting that one guy thinks he's like self-styled Bhagwan is with a whole bunch of wives, and the other guy's has got a bunch of guys. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better than that, really.
Nope.
It is awesome. But anyway, that's who you're up against, Linda.
Yeah, I know.
You're trying to do something worthy and interesting and insightful. And
I don't have tigers. I can't help it.
you're up against this.
Yeah.
Well, it is only a flash in the pan. Okay, so Blake, before we get out of here, you got to give us some sort of an indication from your perspective of what do you think is going on? How long are we locked down for, and when is this going to all be over, in your opinion?
I've read a bunch of articles that the Atlantic's been putting out, which I think is probably some of the best reporting on how we got to this point and what the potential paths might be. And I think when I try and look at it in a positive, optimistic light, that people will start getting cabin fever in about 4 weeks and want to get out of their house. And some people will start trickling out of town, and some restaurants and bars will open. Other people will tell them to stop opening, and but some businesses will do it in desperation. I think that's going to help to not dampen the people who get infected, and it's going to continue to spread in the area, which is going to continue to hurt the news about New Orleans and Louisiana for specifically tourism. However, there could be a lot of people who want to travel and not go overseas and don't have the budget to do that. And the most exotic place to go is potentially New Orleans. The festivals are being pushed off to the fall. So it's going to be a mix of people needing to get outside, interact with our businesses needing to be open, everything being pushed to the fall, but then the virus will flare up again in the fall. So you'll have both those smashing into each other. So I don't think anyone really knows, but it's definitely going to be a very interesting next few months. But I think in the end, you're going to see a lot of restaurants and bars closing, unfortunately.
You mean permanently?
Yeah, I don't think some people can sustain this. If you started in any way and don't have a nest egg, or you haven't built up enough credit with a bank to have a line of credit, there's just simply no way you can continue to sustain yourself unless you completely change your business model with something like delivery or pickup.
And you think that there's not going to be a single day when somebody says, okay, we're back to normal, that's going to slowly open? People are going to be like opening a bar in the quarter or something first, and then someone else will open a restaurant, and it's going to slowly go that way?
I think there'll be an announcement in a few weeks to sort of release this mandated shelter in place, and some businesses will start to open. I think people will start interacting, going to businesses in a tepid way, but then I think New Orleans is going to be hurt pretty drastically for the next few years due to tourism, unless they expand testing by 100-fold, and we have enough of the community building up immunity through either getting it and not knowing they had it, or getting it and not being affected by it. And then eventually that just becomes this collective experience, solidarity that we all have, and story that we'll tell for decades, similar to Katrina. But what's going to happen during Christmas? Are people going to want to flock in droves on Black Friday to the mall and stores?
Right.
Probably not. I think it's in the back of people's heads. There's going to be a group of people in our population, probably a lot of us, who are like, I don't know. There's another part of our population who are like, fuck it, I don't care. And I didn't care when people were staying home, and I don't care now. So I'm just going to go out and do my thing. And Tracy's will be packed. And
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Other bars will be closed, and DBA will get purchased by City Torres, and he'll turn into some shithole restaurant or something. I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of dark stuff going on, but my hope is that we all figure out what the new normal is for New Orleans. One thing I think is really interesting is that when New Orleanians are grieving, it's like we're drawn to each other, and second lines get together. And this is like this moment where we're having this Katrina that we can't leave town and we have to stay at home and we can't be near each other. And I think everyone in New Orleans has no idea how to deal with what we're dealing with right now. I think it just doesn't compute. It's just our brains don't understand.
Yeah, this is the opposite of how we normally figure things out, which is get together and eat and drink and work it out somehow. Okay, well, Blake, I was hoping for an upbeat ending, but it didn't work out that way.
Oh, I have an upbeat ending.
Okay.
No criminal jury trials in April, Christopher. Where's Christopher? Is he still there?
Yes.
No criminal jury trials in April.
Got it.
Well, that's as upbeat as we can get. I thought Blake would have
You're
some
off the
sort of
hook.
galvanizing vision for a bright new future for New Orleans.
All right, now I feel bad. Now I feel like I have to say something.
No, it was interesting to hear that because
I thought the answer was going to be like 6 weeks, but that was way more intense than that.
The groundhog.
Guys, we have to get the hell out of here and go back to whatever it is we weren't doing.
There you go.
So what have we
All
got to look forward to? Rodo, we've got your record Dripped in Gold coming out to look forward to. That's something.
Yeah, so we got Dripped in Gold coming out April 15th. That's iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, anywhere you get your music, you can find Dripped in Gold.
Okay, that would have been the tax day normally, but now that's pushed off until July. So thanks for joining us, Rodo and Sergio. Nice to meet you, and thank you for the explanation of how blood becomes viscous.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having us. Anytime, Grant.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll have you back. And Amanda, we didn't get to you at all. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi. We're going to get out of here. You just popped in. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
New Orleans.
You're in New Orleans. Somewhere. What room are you in?
This is my home office. I work from home normally, and now, of course, I'm still working from home.
Working from home. Yeah. Okay. What do you do?
I'm a registered nurse care manager. I do telephonic case management.
Telephonic case management.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I would think you'd be pretty busy if you're a registered nurse about now.
Very. It's really busy right now. But I'm not nearly as busy as my coworkers who work in the hospital, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. What are you hearing from your friends who are workers in the hospital?
They are very, very overwhelmed and scared.
Well, this has turned out to be a pretty upbeat little show.
Yeah. Well, it said happy hour, but I don't see anybody drinking anything and then I thought it was funny that it started at 3:30. I was like, well, I have to wait at least till I get off work.
I know you can start drinking at breakfast now, right? Graham, our producer, she says you can have a beer for breakfast.
It's certainly socially acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
An hour before this started.
Yeah, all
Right.
bets are off about when you can start drinking now. Don't worry about that. And that's
Yeah.
one good thing about being trapped in your house all day. It's not like you're going to drive anywhere. So what the hell?
Well, that's true. Public safety at its finest.
Yeah, start drinking early. Okay, so thank you for joining us, everybody. Who did I miss? It's so confusing now.
Some people's dystopia is other people's utopia.
Sergio, that is a beautiful way to end. Thank you very much. Some people's dystopia is another.
And there's the title of the show right there. That's
Right there. It's
There it is.
gorgeous.
Last time it was
I can write that down. Even.
Listen, 2 for 2. Every time I'm on your show, we get the title. Last
Yeah,
one was enough.
that's right. Last time we recorded a note from the universe. Sergio, did you make that up, or are we ripping anyone off, or did you make that up?
No, I mean I guess I came up with that.
It was the alcohol.
It's like it extroverts apocalypse is introverts paradise.
No, you're just ruining it now. It was better before. You leave well enough alone. That was great. Linda Midget, there you are. Thank you so much for joining us, Linda. We're going to go watch this movie, Same God, on iTunes or whatever it's called now, Apple TV.
Apple TV.
What
yeah.
if you don't have Apple TV? What if you don't have Apple anything?
Amazon.
Amazon. It's on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah, it's on
All
Amazon.
right. Very
Yep.
good. Okay, everybody. I think that's the whole thing, isn't it? Graham, are we good to go here?
Sorry about the dog. Yeah, good
Nice
to
to
go.
meet you guys.
Yes. Thanks, everyone, for showing up.
Yeah.
It's been
Thanks,
great to see
everyone.
you. Thank you, too, to the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage. And Andrew Duhon couldn't be here today because he's doing another live stream somewhere else for the Jazz and Heritage Foundation. And if you want to check out Andrew's stuff, go to patreon.com and search for Andrew Duhon and see what he's up to. And you can also search for us. It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And for as little as $1, you can be a member of our Patreon family on Happy Hour as well. I guess that's about it for the whole show. Thank you so much for being here. And if all things being equal, well, I guess we'll still be locked in our houses by this time next week, and we'll be back here. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our music producer is Monique Pyle. Christian Unruh is our music consultant. Our technical director is Thomas Walsh. Asher Griffith is our Facebook live feed director, who today is just smoking cigarettes. Our fact checker and social media connector is Andrew Sirak. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show, and you can drink alcohol for about an hour or starting at breakfast while sitting at home, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. It's neworleans.com. You can also find out many other happy hours that were recorded previously when people were allowed to congregate in bars, as well as other shows we make around here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Aschuti, which used to be recorded live at Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death, never more timely than Death, the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la, and you can keep up with us on a bunch of time-sucking social media between shows like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find those links on our website, itsneworleans.com. You can find photos from this show, believe it or not, on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Happy Hour Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Jill LaFleur, and you can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. If your podcast app has a share function, try telling a couple of friends about Happy Hour. Happy Hour is a production of Light Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. Andrew Duhon's going to be back here next week along with the rest of us. So from all of our Happy Hour crew, we're in our own houses here. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back here next week for Happy Hour. In the meantime, please stay home and stay safe.